Esta tarde entrevistamos al abogado César de Castro. Es la primera vez que habla después del juicio y la sentencia en contra de su defendido, Genaro García Luna.
El gesto de Genaro García Luna dejó esa dureza manifiesta durante semanas. El ceño fruncido se fue y su entrecejo se acomodó más en la lógica de quien expresa preocupación o incertidumbre. Entonces vino la lectura. El juez tomó el veredicto con las casillas marcadas por el jurado, todas a favor del gobierno de Estados Unidos. Cargo 2, culpable. Cargo 3, culpable. Cargo 4, culpable. Cargo 1, culpable. Cargo 5, culpable.
¿Cómo se encuentra Genaro García Luna?
So I'd say initially he was, as I think we all were, in shock a little bit. That's, I think, would be normal in the trial process. And then took some time for us all to sort of consider it and talk. And he's fine. He is, as I've known him now for several years, he is an optimist. He is very optimistic about the future. He always is future looking. He's okay. He's, of course, unhappy with the verdict. We all are unhappy with the verdict. We believe it was against the weight of the evidence. However, he is, as he always tends to be, optimistic and working hard with the entire team.
¿Qué razón, qué motivo tendría él para estar optimista?
Well, I think that he's optimistic in general, just about things. He wants us to focus on what can we do to continue to fight the case. We are, of course, going to continue to fight. We are going to consider all of our options and what would be next. And now we have to consider what our options are next and just look forward and decide what's next.
Pese al optimismo del que habla el abogado, el panorama para García Luna es muy adverso. En junio se conocerá la sentencia, pues que no podrá ser menor de 20 años en la cárcel. En ese panorama, García Luna decidió o decidirá convertirse en testigo cooperante de la justicia de Estados Unidos, tal como se lo pide, entre otros, el presidente López Obrador.
I suppose the way I would answer that is there's always an opportunity to talk to the government. That's always an option for someone who, one, has information, two, is willing to provide that information.
¿Usted se lo va a proponer?
It's something I certainly will talk to him about. That is an option. That is a road you can travel even after you have been convicted after a trial. So I certainly will talk to him about it. He has not said he's interested in doing that.
Hasta el momento no está interesado o no ha mostrado un signo de estar interesado en convertirse en un testigo colaborador.
No.
Ojalá. No solo porque le pueden reducir los años de cárcel a García Luna, sino por el servicio que le daría a México, a pesar de los pesares, el que hablara.
El propio presidente de México, el presidente López Obrador, lo está animando, invitando a convertirse en un testigo colaborador.
I don't know if the president is talking based on any information. I don't know that he knows if Genaro García Luna has any information to provide. So what I will say is that it is certainly an option, and it's an option that I will talk to him about. I have talked to him about, and it is something that if he wants to, he will consider.
Lo puede considerar, pero hasta este momento Genaro García Luna no le ha dicho a su abogado que piense convertirse en un testigo cooperante o colaborador. El abogado hizo referencia también a cuándo y por qué Mencionó al presidente López Obrador en el juicio en Nueva York cuando interrogaba a Jesús el Rey Zambada. Eran los últimos días del juicio. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Por qué habló así del presidente López Obrador? ¿Se equivocó el abogado cuando dijo que el narcotraficante Zambada había entregado dinero para una campaña que tendría que ver con Andrés Manuel López Obrador?
Abogado, ¿no se va a disculpar con el presidente de México por sus dichos ayer con el Rey Zambada?
Yo no sé qué él está diciendo.
Did you lie?
First, it was not my mistake. Let me make that clear. I didn't make a mistake in terms of asking the question. And I think what's important is to explain how I do my job, how our entire team did our job, and how any defense lawyer in the United States does his or her job in asking questions of witnesses that the government puts forth. In cross-examination, and the government as well, has to have a good faith basis to ask a question. The question has to be relevant to something in the trial. My question of Rey Zambada, which is what you're talking about, was I had a good faith basis to ask that question. How do I obtain a good faith basis? I obtained that basis from the materials provided to me by the government. Generally, in this case, that consists of the reports or the notes of prior interviews with the witness.
Usted lo mencionó en la corte.
Did you lie about the president of Mexico?
I didn't testify in court. ¿Usted mintió en la corte?
I was quite surprised at the amount of attention that 30 seconds in court garnered as a result, as I was preparing for our summations, which were happening the next day. But in the trial itself, I don't think it was a very big moment.
Y le preguntamos cómo llegaron, cómo tomaron la decisión él y Genaro García Luna para que Genaro García Luna no diera testimonio, no testificara, no se defendiera con un testimonio en el juicio de Nueva York. Porque sabemos que la decisión la toma Genaro García Luna, pero suponemos que fue una decisión conversada con usted. ¿Por qué tomaron la decisión de que él no diera testimonio, de que él no testificara en el juicio? ¿Por qué se tomó esa decisión?
You're right, Ciro. It is his decision. And in our system, it is only his decision. And he certainly will talk to us.
Pero tiene un abogado al lado con quien consulta esa decisión, yes, a quien seguramente le pidió una opinión sobre esa decisión.
Claro. First, I'll tell you what I told the jury. I told the jury that they did not need to hear from him. This trial was about whether Genaro García Luna assisted the cartels in their narco trafficking. If you want to know what his answer is to that question, he answered it. When he was arrested, the government chose, they didn't have to do this, the government chose to call a witness that interviewed Genaro García Luna when he was arrested, and they chose to elicit the evidence of his statement. We are generally not permitted to do that. They elicited that, number one, he was asked about whether he assisted the cartels, and he said no. Number two, he was asked whether he knew Arturo Beltran Leyva, and so on. And so he told the jury through that testimony that, in his view, his statement was that I was not guilty. Not only did he do that, but he demonstrated, because the witness also demonstrated, that Mr. Garcia Luna was an open book when he was arrested. He said, "What do you need? Do you want my computers? Sure, you can search them. Do you want to search my home? Sure, you can search them. Do you like the passwords to all of my devices? Yes." He gave them access to everything. In our system, to be able to access my phone, for example, if I'm arrested, they need me to either consent to a search, which is very rare, or they need to go to a judge and obtain a search warrant. They didn't have to do any of that because Genaro García Luna gave them full access, and they reviewed all of that material, and they didn't find a single piece of incriminating evidence.
Pues lo cierto es que esa fue la parte de la estrategia y evidentemente fue una estrategia que no les funcionó. En la parte final de la conversación, el abogado hace un amplio, lo que parece ser un muy sentido homenaje a su defendido, a García Luna. Dice que ha sido un honor, así, un honor defender a una persona como Genaro García Luna. ¿En qué momento del proceso usted dejaría de ser el abogado de Genaro García Luna?
Well, the rules say I am his lawyer until all of his appeals are exhausted, and that is true, unless he hires a different lawyer, of course. But you know, I've gotten to know Genaro García Luna for 3 years now. I am appointed to represent him in this case, but I am a private defense lawyer. And so my view is I'm certainly honored to represent him. I'm honored to represent him on his appeal and going forward as long as he wants me to be there. And I have gotten to know him and his family, and I am there to support them to the end. They have been left essentially on their own, and I have been there with them and for them during this time frame, and I will continue to do so, regardless of whether I am appointed to represent him or not.
Hasta el final, entonces.
Hasta el final.
Hombre clave para enfrentar la delincuencia y se asoció a la delincuencia. Lo que hizo García Luna es un acto de traición a México, al pueblo de México.
¿Por qué habla usted? ¿Por qué dice usted que es un honor defenderlo?
First, I don't believe that the evidence was sufficient to convict him. I don't believe the evidence. I don't believe he was guilty. But he is also a very genuine individual. It has been an honor and a pleasure to represent him. He is extraordinarily kind human being, at least with me. I have not seen any examples of anything that the government tried to describe in this case. I'm honored to have represented him. I'm honored to continue to represent him, and I'm honored to have been appointed by the court to represent him.
Muchas gracias, abogado. Muchas gracias, César. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Gracias.
Gracias. El abogado César de Castro, primera conversación que tiene con un medio de comunicación después del juicio de Nueva York. En unos momentos esta parte y seguramente el fin de semana vamos a poner más en nuestras redes sociales de esta conversación, de esta entrevista con el abogado de Genaro García Luna.